My sister-in-law called the police on me for not picking up my kids within 45 minutes. And now she wants to go back to our old childcare arrangement. I told her to go herself. My sister-in-law and I have had an arrangement for a while. She watches my kids 3 days a week and I watch her 3 days a week. This setup has worked smoothly since March 2020, with any changes discussed well in advance a couple of weeks ago. We had an argument the next day. I dropped my kids off at her house as usual. I didn't speak to her because when one of us is in a rush, it's standard for us to just drop the kids off, stay in the car and drive off. Once we see the door open, I drove to work, which is about 40 minutes away. When I got there, I saw I had about 20 missed calls and even more texts. All from my sister-in-law saying she didn't want to watch the kids because of our argument. Her first text had arrived just before I got to her house. I didn't see it because I keep my phone on silent while driving. I called her back saying I'd arranged to work from home and come get the kids. She told me I had 45 minutes to get back, or she would call the police. I explained the situation to my supervisor, who said I could leave after handling a few tasks. This delayed me by about 20 minutes when I got back to my sister-in-law's place. Just over an hour later, she told me she had already called the police when the 45 minutes ran out. I had to stick around to explain to the officer that I hadn't abandoned my children, that it was just a communication issue. My sister-in-law and I had another shouting match later about this. I arranged for other childcare for my kids and have been mostly ignoring her since she recently reached out to apologize and asked if we could go back to our old childcare arrangement. I told her to go herself. I work with kids. And if I got child abandonment on my record, I would never be able to work in my field again. She knew this, and her calling the police was a massive overreaction. So if she needs a babysitter, she can go whistle for all I care. She said that if I had checked my phone, talked to her that morning, or returned when I was supposed to, she wouldn't have needed to call the police. She argued that she gave me a warning with that first text and that she would have done all those things if she were in my position. Especially since we had argued the night before. I told her that if she thinks I'm babysitting for her again, she's fucking delusion and on her own. Now, it looks like she may have to quit her job because my brother would end up paying more for a babysitter than she earns. My mother and brother have both called me an asshole, saying there were no lasting consequences from her calling the police and that while she overreacted,